Hello, people. How you doing? Okay, well, let's now. Yes, it's our graduation party today. Our mom, Redempta, is here to walk us through that journey. What a better place to really round up the program. We're going to be discussing the subject of purpose. It all begins with purpose and it will also end in purpose. So that's why we're here today. And Mom Redempta, welcome to the house. How you doing?
I am
Can
doing
you introduce
fine.
yourself? Introduce yourself
my
again. For those people that
my
don't know
name
you yet, you're just
my name is
yes,
Redempta Kanja. Coach Faith calls
okay,
me the Papa's woman. Coach Faith calls me the Papa's woman, but my name is Redempta Kanja. I'm so privileged to be here. I'm from Kenya. I'm the visionary After One Kind Club, and we talk about personal development and spiritual growth. And mostly it's just about discovering our purpose and pushing through to the next level and just making sure that when all is said and done, our lives count. Yes, yes.
interesting. Welcome on
Yep.
board. I can see your beautiful face here. Yay, I'm excited. It's our graduation party today. So, guys, are you ready? I see Ma'am Dora. Tell us your name, where you joining us from. We're excited to have you in the room this evening. For my end, this evening, actually, 7 p.m. Ma'am Redempta, it's 9 p.m., right?
Yes, yes, it's 9 p.m.
Okay, so what book are you going to be sharing lessons with us from this evening? What book?
I'm gonna be sharing an exciting book, The Art of Work, The Art of Work by Jeff Goins. And I must say I'm in
Yeah,
love with that book. As in he did a fantastic job.
I believe by now you would love to be a doula. I love it from that book.
Ah, yeah, I love the
I
story of Jimmy Pang. Yes, yes.
okay, I love it. I love that book. So interesting, and I can't wait to have you devour the book. So tell us about the
Yeah.
book. Tell us about the author. Ma'am Jolly, you're welcome. Tell us. We're ready to learn. We're ready to listen. I'm going to mute my mic now. So go ahead.
Um, Jeff Goins is a writer, is a podcaster, and is a best-selling author. And he also does what does he also speaks. But the way he introduces himself is just amazing. Like it inspires you to read the book because he says that he was inspired by his father's bedtime stories. So like that's what inspired him to become creative in what he was doing. And he never knew it until later on in life when a friend told him you are actually a writer. But the most interesting thing he says is that life is not really a plan, but it is what is left when the plan goes completely wrong. Like the plan fails. And I love the
That's
fact
when
that
life happens.
yes, yes, yes. And I love the fact that he has written his story in a practical way. He actually says that purpose is mystical, but it is also practical in a way that sometimes it just happens to you, and sometimes you put in effort to find it. But the most important thing he says that purpose is something that is happens in our day to day life. It is just the ordinary life you live, and inside it, if you're keen to listen and you pay attention to your environment, to what you're doing, you actually come to discover your purpose. And for me, I found that very profound because he really demystified this thing called purpose. And in his book, he calls yes. Yep.
In fact, it has actually been breaking from my end. I don't know if it's from this side. Guys, can you hear me? Thank you, Ma'am Redempta, for laying that foundation. I hope you guys heard that very well. If you did, just say I heard her so that we can continue. Okay? Ma'am Redempta, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, coach. But there was a breakdown of
Okay.
network at one point, but I can hear you.
Okay, okay, thank you, beautiful. So, looking at the work of the Goins, um, was he really able to demystify the concept of purpose? When you read through the book, what's the
Yes,
take about
yes,
that?
yes. Yes, yes, yes. He really demystified it. And I love the fact that every point he had to say, he had to use a story. He had to illustrate it with a story for an easy understanding. Like, Jeff Goins really is very intentional. He's very intentional in letting us know that purpose is not a plan, but it is a journey. It is a journey, and this journey has its own twists and turns, and it has unexpected surprises. And in these surprises is where you come to find your purpose, something that leads you to a destiny. And when you find your destiny, it's just the beginning because purpose is your entire life. It's not just something that you give yourself to, but it is your entire life. That when everything is said and done, what did your life amount to? And he also brings in the aspect of us. I love the aspect he brings in, and he says that, we are human beings, and when we set our mind to something, we have goals we have set for ourselves, we have things that we have set. And when we put our minds and we focus our minds to that particular thing, we achieve it. What about if we just listen to know what is the call of God? So there are these things that we keep on working every day and we set goals and we go, and sometimes they don't even make us happy. It is just a goal you are running with, but it didn't have a meaning really in life. But what about if you can listen to your life? And what about if you can just listen to uh, what is inside you and allow it come out? What your environment, the things that your environment are communicating, and just allow yourself to have an impact, to 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 live and to add value to that particular thing that you're experiencing. And he gives examples of, like, I was really touched by the story. He starts with the story of Eric Miller's son when he's found with a brain tumor. And when he goes to an operation, he realizes that the son might never walk again, talk again, or do anything. So he's left blind. He's left fighting to actually just have speech and also train himself once again. And at that particular time, there was no hope left, but he kept pushing on and just believing. But one day, when he was seated with the son, he realized that they had given him 50 chances of surviving. And when he looked at it and he kept encouraging and he prayed for all odds, he realized that it was not just his the life of his son that was at stake. He realized that even his own life, no one guarantees you tomorrow, and no one guarantees you the next hour. It is what you have right now. How are you using your now and today? And for me, that was profound. Like, today is given to me. What am I doing with my today? If I don't have tomorrow, how will people remember my today? That was very profound. And with the realization, Eric Miller comes to that realization, and then his life takes a whole new trajectory, a whole new dimension, and he started working and doing things deliberately. We actually realized that he actually got a divorce letter, but that was never an issue. He kept focusing on his life and the son, and he had a purpose. There was something he was working towards to make sure that his life counts after that, and that if he is not given tomorrow, today will be lived satisfactorily. And for me, that was really profound. So it is a journey.
That's
Like, every
ma'am.
story was just, yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Yes.
You were
So
saying something.
yes, so I was just talking about the calling and the illustration that he gave. And for me, it made sense because, sometimes when we talk about purpose and we talk about calling, people look at you and admire what you're doing. And sometimes they wonder, how can I get to be at this place? And Goins just nails it on the head and says, it is not about what you're thinking about tomorrow, and this thing is not coming from nowhere. It's just about you living your life today. Get ready. Nothing you are thinking about, start doing it. If it's not the one, it's one of the surprises in life. You will get to another place, discover something else and do. But the point is, he actually urges us to keep doing, to just keep walking and keep going forward rather than waiting for something, because sometimes we get hindered by fear. He says the fear of unknown, or the fear of I might not do it, has really paralyzed a lot of dreams. And for me, I found that really profound, because that is what is happening in our today's generation, that people have very big plans, but to start to actualize them is the problem. They don't have the courage, the tenacity to just step out and say, you know what, I'm going to start this, even if I don't know what is happening, that I'm going to start here. And even as he says that, he says something else that is very profound, that I don't know whether we will touch about on it, but he says that your whole life, the experiences that you've been going through, the pains, the setbacks, the things that you have gone through have been preparing you for that particular assignment. So he does not understand why you're holding back, and he doesn't understand why people are stuck trying to make a perfect picture. But the reality is that there is no perfect picture, there is no plan. It is just the ordinary life, the things that you go through, the surprises that come in the midst of what you're doing, the setbacks that you have. And then he says something profound, and he says that in those setbacks, you actually come to a place and realize, you look back at those mistakes, you look back at what has happened, and then you realize that it couldn't have been better, that your life was just meant the way it was meant to be, the way it is. And that's where the story of the doula comes in. Ginny Pang. He says that Ginny Pang got pregnant while as a teenager, and when she got pregnant, the boyfriend actually asked her to abort, but she couldn't abort because it didn't feel right for her. And because it didn't feel right for her, she was actually contemplating, on doing the abortion when, can you give me a second? I just want to connect with my laptop so that I can see the comments. 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Transcend.
Hello guys, I hope you're learning. Yeah, Ma'am Jemima, the fiesta, it's celebrate. Okay, happy birthday, Jemima. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday.
to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. How old are you now? Happy birthday, Jemima. Greater heights, in Jesus' name. All right, are you back now?
We pray that she will not miss her papas, and if she's there, she will keep doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Jeff Goins says that it is not about doing; it is about being a master, a mastery.
Wow.
Yes. So I was saying that Ginny Pang got pregnant when in high school. I think she was in school or something. She was a teenager. She was supposed to abort, but she didn't abort. So her auntie saved her when she was at the blink of just doing that abortion, and she didn't do it. And in the process of nurturing her baby and everything, she interacted with many people, and she meets this one person who introduces her to the issue of being a doula. She didn't understand what a doula was. She did not even. She had never heard about it, but she got.
When I saw that professor, I wanted to stop being a reading coach. Let me go and resume that office. Let me go and resume the office of a doula. It comes natural.
I think it's okay. You can still go and do, because he talks about portfolio life, And he said
Yeah,
that
of course.
you
I
can
think I was
have
going to ask
something.
you about the portfolio life. Mm.
Yeah, so
Oh,
he says you can have many things that you're doing, and you can become a master of a few.
yeah.
And you can be a doula. You can be a doula. That's fine with you. So.
Thank you for giving me the permission. I'm going to think about it. I will start with Jemima. Jemima will be my first student. All right. So, interesting, Ma'am Redempta. The subject of purpose is inexhaustible, actually. So, what's your advice to those that are listening to this? Let's say this start
Sorry,
to invest. Can you hear
sorry,
me?
I didn't hear you.
I
You
said
said
the subject of
yes.
purpose, thank God it is becoming clearer. I remember when we were growing up, we used to be so confused about this purpose thing. We're like, I have not discovered my purpose. Even when you are doing something meaningful, when you are serving God's will and agenda for your life, you are still saying you have not discovered purpose. So where did this come from? For those that are just coming along, guys, we are discussing the subject of purpose from the work of the Goins, the art of work. All right, now Redempta, go on. Where did this come from?
So just going said, I am avoiding to talk about what I know about purpose, and I'm avoiding to tell you to preempt my book. So I am gonna stick to Jeff Goins because he did an amazing job. So I'm gonna say this. Jeff Goins says that everyone has a purpose, that God created us and everyone has a purpose. And allow me add and say that actually when you look at it, today I just discovered something while I was something that I've never really thought about as I was just going through this book. And I realized that when God created us, He said, "Let us create man in our own image and likeness," meaning that God had already created us in His image. So we have the
Okay.
character, the nature of God. Then He gave
Yeah.
us our assignment, and our assignment is that we may have dominion
Yeah.
on earth. So
Mm.
the reality is that we have already been given an assignment. It is not a secret about it. It is an assignment. So it is us to find out in which area are we having dominion.
Okay.
In which area are you supposed to be a master? So Jeff Goins says that every one of us has been created by something. It is not about even you sitting down and deciding that this is what I will do. No, it is just about you listening. He says, listen to yourself, listen to your life. What is it telling you about? And he says that your calling can come to you, or sometimes your mentor will hear you. There are times that we are so preoccupied in life, and he gives a very interesting narrative that I had never thought about in that dimension. He gives the story of Prophet Samuel, and he says
Okay.
that Samuel was called by God, but he didn't know. He went to Eli and asked, "I hear someone calling me. What's happening?" And he's like, "I
Mm.
haven't called you." Like he would have missed God, but then he goes sleeps again, and then God calls him again, and he goes back to the mentor and he's like, "You called me." Yani, for me, I thought about it and I was like, this is not in the book, but I was like, was God's voice like the mentor's voice? Like God called using the mentor's voice so that
Yeah.
he could,
Yes. That's right. So like
yeah,
he
he
could
could,
understand, to connect.
yes, like it was really, for me, I was like, okay, interesting. Because there is no way, Coach Faith, you can call me and I confuse your voice for Jemima. No,
No.
like, yes. But now, then imagine God calls me and I'm thinking it's Faith calling me. And then later on, Faith is so, and is like, no, it's not me calling you, but it is God. So next time, go lie down. When he calls, say, here I am. And that's the importance of I think Jeff Goins calls it apprenticeship. Like it is the things that he says that the teacher appears when the student is least expecting.
Yeah.
The teacher appears when you are not even, as in the things that happen around you and everything. You will go through a series of training, you will go through a series of mentorship, you will go through a series of tests and everything. And that is preparing you for your calling. That is preparing you for your future. And one of the things that Jeff Goins says is that the most important thing we can do for us to impress our calling or to impress our purpose is to let go what we thought would be. You know, many of us are living in that era. Like when you're, I think if you are 26 years and above, you could attest that most of us didn't do the things that we wanted to do, but we did what our parents wanted us to do. Like maybe you wanted to be an actor, but your parents or the societal expectations were like, you need to be a teacher, you need to be a doctor, a lawyer, a pilot. Those were the things that looked lucrative and it looked like they could give us money, and now you are told to do them. Now, what happens if you are not an actor but you are a doctor? So he's saying sometimes you have to let go. You have to let go of what you thought you will be and embrace who you are today. And then when you embrace who you are today, you work towards where you're going and what now you want. Now, work from known to unknown. Don't bring all these things and it will overwhelm you and you will not make a way forward. And then he talks about self-awareness. Like that is one of the themes in his book. Apart from the many things he's narrated the themes. He says that purpose is a journey that will not look like any other person's. So you will find that most of us are running book clubs, but our journey and our story is not Coach Faith's journey, and it is not someone else's journey. So each and every one of us will have our own journey, but there are common themes in this particular journey of discovering purpose. And one of the themes is self-awareness. And if you've been on my page, I've been talking about self-awareness. And the kind of self-awareness that Jeff is talking about is just a self-awareness of knowing, accepting who you are and knowing that there is something much more bigger in you. There is something that God has created in you and you need to release it to the world. And there is no way, he actually puts a practical, I love this, he puts it practically and says that when you are born, you are a blank slate. Your parents had to feed you, they had to train you how to talk, they had to train you how to walk, and someone else is coming to take over, and that is what he calls apprenticeship. But then he says that you as a person, you need to know that there is so much ability in you, and it will depend on what you do, how you're going to work it out to actually reach that pinnacle of success that you want. And in that particular self-awareness, he's talking about you just sitting down. He has emphasized on the issue of reflection. You just sitting down and reflecting on your life, seeing what your life is teaching you, and finding your path in that particular life. And when you look at self-awareness, there are three concepts that we must embrace as a person, because you realize that there is self-worth and self-esteem. To what value do you accept yourself? To what extent do you value yourself? And then you realize that there is the self-image. Do you like yourself? When you look in the mirror, do you like yourself? Like me, I like myself.
Okay.
There are people who don't like themselves. They look at them and they're like, this nose is shaped like this. Like they don't like themselves. You don't feel like you're a good person. You don't feel like you measure up to the standard. Maybe because of the life you've gone through, the challenges, the childhood experiences, the traumas. And it is not your fault, but we are saying now stop blaming everyone. That's what Jeff Goins is saying. Stop blaming people. Stop giving an excuse of why you're not good enough. Stop giving an excuse of why you can't do something. He says that many people try to play, like he tried to play a guitar and he said, I have tried my best. You know the way people will say that I did my best, yet they didn't do their best. You're just using it as an excuse, but you have to come out and do practice and just do the very best you can to actually be the thing that you really want. And the other concept of self-awareness is the ideal self. Who do you want to be? So we have talked about, do you accept yourself? Do you value yourself? Meaning you're going to like yourself. That is self-image. You're going to appreciate and know that you are a good person or whatever it is. Even if you are a bad person, you have the ability to change and to be better. Then we come to our ideal self. Where do you want to be? Who do you see yourself? Who do you like most? Who is this person that you admire and you would like to follow in their footsteps? You don't want to be like them, but you're following in their footsteps. So when you have come to concept to bring those things, when you bring those things together, you actually realize that okay, so this is where I am. Self-awareness, it has started. Then you now move to the next level where you come to your community. People, there are things that people see in you. Of course, people will not see, not all people will see good things. There are those who will see good things, and then there are those who will see their own things. Now we are focusing positivity and the people who are seeing great things in you. So, like Jeff Goins, he says that it is the friends who told him, it is one of his friends who told him, hey, you can be a writer. Like he used to write, he did, but he didn't know that he can be a writer until someone told him that he can be a writer, and he chose to pursue it. And that's what we are talking about, that your community, you're not an island, but your community will see something good in you and they will tell you. Your community will encourage you. The things that you look around, and that is really profound. And then when they have told you who you are, now you take the next step. Is it something that you really want to pursue? If it is something that you really want to pursue and you love it, you go to the next step, which is now acting on it, acting on feedback. Now you've received feedback, you act on it. If you're supposed to write, you write. If you're supposed to create content, you create. If you're supposed to be a speaker, you go ahead and speak. So it's a very interesting analogy. And then you keep working on it to become better. So it's not just about you had, then you start, but it's about practice. And he says a profound statement and says that practicing excellence is a matter of training, a matter of practice. So even the people who think that are talented, they will tell you, yes, we are talented, but we practice. We gave it our all. We pushed to the limit. And he says, Jeff Cohen says, it's not just a matter of practice, but it is the right kind of practice. He says that there is something that differentiates the best musicians from the mediocre ones. And he has given illustrations of two people in the book. He says one of them said he had been practicing for so many years, but when they sang, they received such a horrible feedback. But one of them came and sang and stood, everyone gave a standing ovation. What is the difference? It's the right practice. And then these are the people who actually push themselves. You push yourself to the end of your limit and you still go an extra mile. That is what makes people extraordinary. That's what makes people actually receive the kind of um, the kind of reward, the kind of recognition, and the world. Yes, yes, yes,
Interesting. All
yes,
right.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Self-awareness is path to life fulfillment. Um, Lemma says, I came to appreciate that purpose in nature evolves. With that understanding, appreciate everything that is happening in our life, accepting stone to purpose, good or bad, interesting. Let go of what you thought you would be, focus on what you are now. Interesting. Yeah. Stop living in fantasy. All right, Mom Redempta, thank you for all that you're sharing. Guys, if you're just coming around for the first time, we're rounding up Transcend with books today. Ensure you subscribe to this very account. Subscribe because it's going to give you loads of updates, teachings, all right, that will help you really do the life of impact, all right? So, Mom Redempta, I'd like you to talk about the portfolio life.
Oh.
Yay! I'm interested in that. Talk about the portfolio life.
um,
Guys, what do you think about Jeff Goins? If you like the book, make sure you subscribe subscribe to our e-library. Make sure you join the book club so that you can continue to grow and scale. We just want to end this year. Join the
I want
community. Man, Redempta, go ahead.
I want to say this. If you don't like Jeff Goins, just pretend you do. Just read the book.
You will definitely like the man.
Yeah,
I know when you are
because
done with that, you need the next one and the next one and the next one. Go ahead.
yeah. So portfolio life is what we need, all of us today in this generation, in this economy. Portfolio life we all need because it's about developing a number of skills, like having many things you're doing as one person, because he uses the word monolithic. You don't take that one thing, like if you are employed, you just don't take your job as that one thing that you're doing and you focus on it, because time is coming when you will not be there forever. You will change, you will do, and if you don't have the necessary skills to 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 cope with life or to start something else, it will be more frustrating than it would have been if you have developed a number of skills. And I like the analogy of Jeff Goins specifically when he says that portfolio life is where you determine what do I need this year. So in terms of money, like this, if this is the money I need, then he has divided the portfolio life into something that you can earn a salary. Another one is about a fee, like maybe contractors, like you do something generally, like now if you are an employee, you get paid every month for the services you have rendered your organization. Then a fee is like now we contract Coach Faith to come and do a training for our organization. So for Coach Faith, we will not pay salary. We will agree on a fee. So we pay Coach Faith a fee. Then he's saying we have study work, we have gift work, we have, what is the other one, Coach? Um, I think there is one, I'll tell you. So those all things, there are things that you will do for money. There are things that you will do for just your calling, to fulfill your calling. There will be things that you will do just for your CSR. And all these things are adding up to your purpose, to your calling. But now this is the thing, that you look at what you want to achieve. You decide, how much money do I need? I need $1 million this year. So I decide,
Okay.
if I need to get $1 million, how much can I get in a day? Then you decide, okay, depending on what you're doing, the trends you have and everything, you decide, okay, I can actually do $1,000 a day. So you decide, out of the million, you take the 1,000, you divide by a million. Then you realize, how many days am I going to work? Maybe there are going to be 100. So how many days do I have? 365. So you will concentrate on 100 days to make that money. Then the rest of
Okay.
these other days, you go and do something else. Now you can act impact in whatever you want to do. You can now go study the things you love to do. You can now go study work. You can do charity work. You can do CSR. Just all those things that add up to your package and also help you fulfill your calling. Rather than just doing one thing for life, life becomes boring. You decide to descend like many things. He actually gave statistics and says that only 37% of people, there was a poll that happened, and only 37% of people enjoy their work. The others are doing it as an obligation. So it is no longer interesting. You're just doing it as an obligation and not as a dream thing. Yes. So for me, that's what I got, and I was like, oh, this is really amazing. This is really amazing, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna create and add a bucket of skills on me or myself, whatever it is, every year, because I realize just how important it is. And also, if I have to if I have to live the life I desire, that I see myself living, then I just have to have those skills because I will need them. I will need them.
I love the way you have been able to compartmentalize them so that you know this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing this, this is why I'm doing that. And of course, we as humans, our potentials are just so much. So there's no way you would say, I want to work with myself. That's why I love business. I love doing business. Because at the end of the day, I'm able to become very creative. I'm able to express my creativity. So it's not just like that's why business is different from hustling. Hustling can just be something you're doing to make money for a while, but in business, you have your leverage and the opportunity to be creative, to do
Yes,
multiple things, to come up with different ideas. Just imagine God Himself creating more than 8,000 species of living things on Earth. And among that 8,000, only the human still has over 8 billion people on Earth. So
yes,
you can imagine that. So I love the way he has been able to put that together, meaning that we can be able to have that kind of life. So guys, I will encourage you to read the book so you understand
yes,
how to really break your life down. Maybe when you study the book again and again, you understand how to break your life down into the portfolio system and then begin to know the type of skills that you need to use per time to help you enhance a particular area so that you can be happy, like my Redempta have said. So you don't live a
and
boring life.
yes,
Okay.
and I actually think, Coach, I think the reason I like the concept of portfolio life because then, apart, you see, when you're like now, this specifically for people who are employed, like myself, like you realize that when you're waking up every day to just go to that specific work and there is nothing else you're doing, your life becomes so narrow. Like you lose out on life. You miss out on so many things because you're not open to what other people are doing out there, and you don't even see yourself as that person who can do other things. And I feel like that is the reason we have high levels of depression in the society today, because people
Yeah.
just focused on one thing and they just forgot even to have fun. You don't even have a minute to sit down and think about your life and reflect about what is happening around you. So you actually find yourself stuck in a job that you actually don't like, but you're doing it as an obligation. So because you need to pay your bills, you need to do one or two things, but it's not about the interesting thing. So I feel like that issue of portfolio life is very important. I wish I knew that 10 years ago because I would really be far. But then again, I'm going to stick to Jeff Goins' advice and say, let go of what you thought would be and just start from where you are. So today we are here. We are glad. We are privileged to know that. Then we can now act on it and move forward. Yeah.
Interesting. I also love the part where you spoke about the fact that your calling is your legacy. Um, can you break that down? So your calling is your legacy and you never stop living for it.
I love it too because how I got it, the Rema for me in this particular place when he talks about legacy. He says that your life is not really about how rich, or I think this is how I'll put it. It's not about what you did, really. It is not about how well you lived or anything. It's just about the lives that you are able to impact. It is
Okay.
about what you left behind for someone. It is about the lives that you are able to transform. It is about the solutions that you are able to provide to the problems that were available. It is about the soul that you saved and the lives that you changed. So he says that in whatever you're doing, in the life that you have lived and everything you're doing, your life, when you're working, you can retire, you can resign. But when you continue to follow your purpose and live in your calling, it means that you will never retire. No one can retire you. Your calling ends when you transition to when you die. That's when your calling ends. But then your life will be measured by the impact that you left behind. on the lives that you transform, on the lives that you change. That is all about legacy. So, yes, Coach Faith, you've been doing Transcend. You've been encouraging people to read and everything. Surprisingly, it doesn't matter how many books we read, but what matters is that in the process of reading, what transformed us. In the a million books that people were able to read, was life transformed? Was our mindset changed? Was our mentality changed? Like that is what really matters. And sometimes you never know when it happens. You see, you just keep doing and keep doing, but you never know when it happens, because in this journey, there is just something that will happen and it will change people's lives forever, like forever. And that is the legacy you leave behind. It is not about you are able to help people read a million books. It's just about, in the process of reading books, I read this one book that changed my life. And that is it. Because if I was not encouraged by this coach to read, I would never have stumbled upon this book. It is about these conferences that you have organized. In these 14 days, there is just one day that might have transformed someone's life. It's not all the days. They didn't even hear what other speakers said, but this one thing, this one day that has transformed people's life. So, and that is now the legacy that remains for you, because these people will forever remember. They never forget. That point when your life transitioned, the pivoting point, you never forget. You always remember. And that's what is key for a legacy. That is key for a legacy, that when you all is said and done, what did you leave behind? What solutions did you leave? What problems did you solve? What life did you touch? What life did you encourage? And that is all we are doing here. Yes. So for me,
Okay.
I felt that that was really profound.
Yeah, interesting. I want to ask you, at what point do you say that you are using your calling? At what point in life do you say that this person is using their call, their calling? I think it is because I know that a lot of us want to really be purpose, but at some point you are like, am I really doing the thing? I know you have explained a lot. I just wanted to pinpoint that at that point where someone will say, okay, I'm living in my purpose, I'm living a life of legacy, I'm living in my call. At what point is they be able to know that that is what they are doing?
Before I answer this question, I just want to say that I have listened to many people whom I really admire, and I feel like, wow, these guys are doing an amazing job, and they have done an amazing job. And the reality of this statement is that people are always, especially those people who are living in their purpose, many of them, they are always asking themselves, am I really doing enough? Am I really doing enough? There is always something more. Apparently, there is always more. They always want more. They always want to do more.
Yeah.
How many can I reach? How many? Like they are so that consumed with their calling, and it is just never enough. It's just like today I have another day. I need to do more. I need to do more and more and more. So I feel like they are never satisfied, and that is the truth. Like you will never be satisfied. It is like Paul said, I work out my salvation with fear and trembling every day. Every day. It
Yeah.
is not one day and then you stop. No. If you do that one day and then you stop, you will fall into complacency. Like you will go back. You will like kill the fire, and you will just kill what God is doing. But it is just every day, just working out on your salvation every day, working out on your goals every day, working out on that thing that God has called you every day. The difference, however, is this: between people who are living their purpose and people who are not living their purpose is the satisfaction and the fulfillment. You see,
Okay.
Coach Faith, because you have just organized this conference, and every day, do you know, when I'm seated here, I know the drama you have gone through to. Now, let me tell you guys, the ones who have been enjoying this thing. Coach has gone through the frustration of number one, getting the speaker for that particular day. Then she's been
Yeah.
having coaches from different time zones. So there is this coach who is supposed to speak, but you send them an SMS. I'm very sure you send them, they are not responding. Time is going. You don't know whether to replace or not to replace. Who do you replace with and everything? And it can be draining. It can be constant.
Yeah.
It can be like, oh my God, why did I even have to do this? Even these people, and then sometimes you do that, and then you expect so many people, then just a few show up, and you're feeling like, God, did I just do all these things for 10 people? Like sometimes it can drain energy, and it is not easy to organize these things. Then let me tell you, just a few minutes before I came, electricity went off, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how do I call Coach Faith and tell Coach Faith that electricity went off? I told God, no, this can't happen. It was 25 minutes to time. I told God, this can't happen. And my husband said, please, light, come back. Come back. Because this has to happen. Like now, those are the challenges we are facing through. That might be the challenges she has gone through and everything. But you know what? Because it is her her purpose, she just keeps doing it and doing it. And after this conference is done, she will be celebrating with so much joy, with so much fulfillment. Even though you
Yeah.
know what, the plan didn't go as she planned. The plan backfired, and you never know, but she knows. You didn't realize, but she knows. But how? But what keeps her is the fulfillment that you know what, God, the 14 days have come to an end, and I know there has been a transformation in people's life. That's the difference between people who are living their calling and those who are not living their calling. Those who are not living their calling, they are living in regret. They are always wondering, I wish I could do this. They are just bitter about life. They actually envy those who are doing it. And some of them don't envy. They admire, but they are afraid to join. Actually, when you read the book of Acts, you realize that people saw what Paul was doing, the apostles were doing. They saw the miracles, they saw the preaching. But the Bible says that they esteemed them highly, but they could not join them. They esteemed them highly. They made them supernatural. They made them the disciples, but they could not join. Why? They could not pay the cost, and they couldn't want to do that because it is hard work, it is commitment, it is dedication, it is practice, it is perseverance, it is heartbreaking. And again, there is joy. Because if you cannot be vulnerable enough to break yourself, to come to that point of breaking, you can never experience the full joy. But let me tell you, when you have gone through the struggles, when you have planned something and it didn't work and everything, but at the end of the day, you just see something beautiful emerge. There is no amount of joy. I mean, you cannot quantify the joy that you will feel. So that's the difference between people who are living their purpose. So there is no specific day you will say that now I'm living in my purpose, because again, purpose, like it is something that keeps evolving. So today you are passionate about books, and then you realize, okay, yes, I'm passionate about books, but there's something more to this. And then you go a notch higher, and you go a notch higher. So it is just something that you follow, you are leading, you follow the path, you listen to the season and what God wants you to do, and then you keep going and keep going and keep going. But there is joy and fulfillment in you. That's what I will say.
Interesting. At that point where you start having the joy, the fulfillment that is beyond what you can even explain in words. I think this was one of the major reasons. You see, someone like in David who would always roll on the floor. He would dance anyhow and be like, "Oh my God, you beat me! How did I do this?" It comes from different experiences based on our journey. So please think that
Yes.
at that point of your life, when you start having the joy, the fulfillment, inexplainable, you can't even express them in words. That is when you cannot say that you are living a life of purpose. If you are living in regret, in pain, in depression, and all of that, you have to retrace your steps and then you need to get connected to those that are doing the things you love to do. And then to talk about finding good mentors. Yesterday we learned so much about mentorship. Go back and listen to Mr. Michael about mentorship again. So we talk about finding good mentors and not stopping the process of practice and apprenticeship. A lot of us we have to begin to have that rethink that if I am not able to do the things I want to do yet, why don't I stay connected to a mentor so that I can keep on learning and gleaning from their own experiences. One day, I believe God that I'll be able to break into action. I feel that it is not an easy thing to break into action. It is not an easy thing to do the work. Some people are just blessed to do the work. They are just set starters. Some people are not set starters. They can't do it. They cannot be accountable personally. So we are talking about the concept of mentorship and then practicing, continuous practice is interesting and redemption. I love this subject.
Yes.
In fact, I remember when we read The Art of Work by the Goins in the inner circle, we were all jumping up. All right, we're just jumping up. People will be like, oh my God, did you read this line? Did you read that line? Oh my God, this man is something else. And then when we rounded off The Art of Work, we went and read the In Between by the same author, but it was nothing, there's nothing compared to Art of Work. It's an interesting author. So I'm still going to
Mm.
allow Ma'am to share one or two thoughts with us before we call it a day. But I don't know for those of you that have questions, please do well to drop a question into the room. I believe that right now you now have an understanding that the topic of purpose will be continuous learning more. You now have an understanding. He has said something around living in the now. Not thinking about when you are supposed to be. Oh, I'm supposed to be this person. My marriage is supposed to be this way. I'm thinking this one. My life is supposed to be. I'm supposed to be a millionaire by now, or a Tanzania, or whatever near you want to be by now. Work with what you have right now. Utilize the present moment and see how you just take your life to the next level. Yes, if you have another question, if you have a question, guys, you can share with us. So, Ma'am Redempta, you have said something
Yes.
about well, I don't want to ask you any question. I just want you to share whatever it is you want to share around this subject. Maybe that will help us um, synchronize all the thoughts that you have said so far. Go ahead. Guys, if you have a question, you can drop in the room as well so that you can address the question.
I want to say something about fear. Jeff Cohen talks about fear, and he says that many people want something that is definite, something that that has no setbacks, something that is clear, has a definite start and a definite end. And he says that that never happens in life, really. And the few years I've lived, I agree with that. There is nothing like that. And if there is, the results are zero. Like, you cannot achieve so much when you have such a definite journey. But he says that fear is natural. Fear is natural. But then we have to go beyond what we have to go beyond the fear of unknown. What if what
Okay.
you are fearing is so beautiful than what you actually envision or something? So it says that we have to go beyond that and take a leap of faith. You might just be shocked by what is ahead of you, and you might look back and say, thank God that you never missed that opportunity. And he says that once you find your calling, just start. There will be no a good time for you to start, but just start. And some things are worth taking the risk. So you better take the risk right now, because purpose is also messy. Some of those things will be messy. They will require a lot from you, but you will need to be diligent in actually doing the work, and it will to be diligent in actually, he says, building bridges. He says that you will have to discover what you need and what you love, and then you build bridges. So that was an interesting concept as well, that you discover what you need and what you love, and then you build bridges. That you will need to build bridges. He actually gave many scenarios between friendships, between works, between what, but in all you do, just build bridges, because you never know when you will need one to cross over. And then he says that failure is our teacher and pain is a faithful mentor. That if you never go through failure and if you never go through pain, you will never understand the meaning of success, and you will never appreciate success. So it is very important for us to embrace the journey, because out of it, our character is molded, our tenacity is built, and then we can actually become better people as we go on. And it is okay to have a plan that doesn't work, because then you will create a path inside that particular messy plan of yours. So stop dreaming and start working, because that was the best thing that I actually found from that book. And the other thing he says about, I will add something about legacy. He says that a life isn't significant except for the impact on other people's lives. That is a quote that was taken from Jackie Robinson, that a life isn't significant except for the impact on other people's lives. So, and he says that for you to actually live a life of legacy, you cannot just do things because you're doing them, but you must have a goal. So what goal is it? That yes, you have had your calling and everything, but then now what is your goal? What is your goal exactly? Then you must know what you want to achieve. So yes, this is the goal, but what is it that you want to achieve? You want to transform lives. It is okay, you're transforming lives, but you see, lives are many. Which ones do you want to transform? Which ones exactly? What
No
is
one.
exactly what do you want to achieve, and which life do you want to transform? What informs you that you want to transform those lives? And he said something weird. I actually laughed at it, but it actually makes sense. It says that anyone who wants to leave a legacy, and anyone who wants to make a change, you must assume that the world is not a good place. You must assume that there is a problem with the world, and then you have to make it your determination to actually solve that problem. Then he says poverty is a mindset, that if you are in poverty or you're living in poverty, it is your mindset, because you can embrace a different mindset, and there are a million things you can do to actually rise above your poverty. He actually says success isn't about you. That in whatever you are setting, in the goal you're setting, if you achieve it, it is not about you. It is about the people. It is about the plan of God. It is about humanity, and it's just about you blessing a life and transforming a life. And he says that work ought to make a difference in other people's life. Your calling, your work has to make a difference in other people's life. That's how you leave a legacy. And he also says freedom without restriction can be paralyzing. You see, one day coach told me, you are not called to everyone. Your message is not for everyone. And I thought it was a joke. But let me say this, that you cannot just be you cannot just colonize everyone. There is just a specific people, or there is a specific assignment. There is just a specific group of people, and you must define that. You must define that boundary. You must set that boundary. That this is the goal. This is what I want to achieve, and I will put in the work. I will have the right mindset, a growth mindset, and then in this growth mindset, if I achieve this success, I know it is not for me, it is for these people.
Yeah.
And if these people achieve the success, then I have achieved my success. And you know what? My work will make a difference, because you've come to a self-awareness, you have gone through apprenticeship, you have practiced, and then in the process of practice, you have discovered yourself, and you're now just going to leave this legacy. You've done the portfolio life, you've added a few skills here and there. Then now you want to leave a legacy that you will have to define. Yes, there is freedom, but freedom within boundaries. You see, freedom within boundaries, that you will have to set boundaries for you to actually nail your legacy, because it is not about everyone. It is just about, you see, we even have countries. You see, my president cannot be a president in your country. Nigeria has its own president, Cameroon, Kenya, and everything. So you cannot just say, because I'm president, I'm going to give laws on behalf of Nigeria. No, you have boundaries, you have limits, you have your jurisdiction. Your jurisdiction. So what is the name of your purpose, and who are you called to? How do you draw boundaries? And when you draw boundaries, then your legacy is assured, because then you narrow yourself to that particular people. You will not miss it, but you will actually execute with precision and clarity of mind, because as you continue to do, you continue to realize that, oh, this is the niche I'm called to, and this is how I can address. The more you relate with these people, the more you actually um, affect and impact their lives. So, yes, 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 yes. Yeah.
Between people who are living their purpose and those who are not is the satisfaction and fulfillment they get. So you can see that there's already more like a way to detect, okay, a marker somewhat to detect that I am living a life of purpose or I am not living a life of purpose. When you are having satisfaction and when you are not having satisfaction, there is this your heart is not at peace and you really want to gain that level of clarity. Like I've spoken again and again about clarity, and clarity is a very beautiful thing, and because it propels execution, it propels action. If you're clear about who you are, your jurisdiction, who you are meant to serve, it is going to facilitate the process of doing the work. Um, Abdora also says excellence is a matter of training and practice, and not just justice for the right kind of practice. Yes, it's been profound. Ma'am Redempta is the purpose coach. Yes, if you want to know more about purpose, she's right there. She's ready for you. Okay,
Mm.
so you can follow our platform after one kind club. After one kind, everything spells together. After one kind club, you can follow our platform. She shares a lot of amazing insights around purpose, self-awareness, personal transformation, and so much more. She's a wonderful personality. I believe you've heard her. You know she's loaded. We've got amazing people in the system doing amazing things too. Yes, that is it. After one time, guys, you can follow. Mom Spencer says, stop dreaming and start the work. This is a great answer. Okay, I think I love that part when you're talking about all the things that happen in our life, how they wake up for the purpose and the kind of things that God has given us. I just remember the portion of the Bible that says all things work together for our good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. I'm like, you see, most of these things that we're going to do, everything is in the Bible. So all things work together for our good. So forget about who you are supposed to be, what you are dreamt of. This is the time to begin to allow God and let all the different compartments, both the bad, the ugly situations, the good situations that you've gone through, and just utilize it for your purpose. Um, for example, Jesus Christ started fully launched that his ministry at the age of 30, and he did it for 3 years. So it's possible that all the things you have gone through for the past 30 years, they're just they're just building up for you to be able to, you know, actualize your purpose that will take only 5 years. You want to say something about it? About the better?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like it's very true. Like for example, myself, I think if I wrote about my life, I would say provoked to purpose. Pain provoked me to my purpose because the things I went through, like the way you realize like I actually found the analogy of Jeff Goins very practical because he says that sometimes you are trying to discover and figure out so many things, and that thing comes to our mind. Yet the environment and the things that we have gone through are communicating to us. And I sat down to realize that I had gone through so much pain. Like when I was young, I wanted to be a doctor, but apparently I didn't go to school to study the issue of medicine and stuff. But instead, I went to do business. So and then when as life goes on, I realized that I have had a lot of pains in my life. I've gone through a lot of setbacks and a lot of childhood traumas and experiences in my life, and even just as big as I am. And I was just wondering, God, what is this and everything? And then God wanted me, like it's like I wasn't listening, so He had to take me through pain that I really had to heal from. And in the process of healing, I realized, oh my God, I'm not just the only one going through such pains in life. There are many people going through pains. Then now, instead of becoming a medical doctor, I had to become a life giving person. Like, I have to come in and say, oh God, okay, this is what you wanted me to do. Why didn't you just tell me instead of making me go through pain? But you see, if it wasn't the pain, I wouldn't have listened. Just so I had to go through that, and then I had to come to a place where now can I help people who have gone through these pains and even going through more pains, for me to help them to come to realization that, you know what, it is not the end of the world, it will not end here, but God still has a plan for you. This pain can still turn out to be a beautiful thing. And today, when I look back at what has happened in my life, I don't want it in any other way. I just want it that way because it keeps me pushing. Sometimes I feel like it's the thing that just keeps me going and pushing me towards my purpose. So the life and the experiences and the setbacks, the frustrations, the anger that you have gone through really can define your journey when it comes to purpose discovery. And today, for me, sometimes I talk to people and they're like, are you a therapist? And I'm like, no, no. I'm just giving life because there is that life in me. I feel them because I have walked through their journey. I have been in those shoes. And I know the right words I wanted someone to speak to me and they didn't speak. So I can speak those words to you and I encourage you to come out of the thing that you're facing and just face a life with boldness and knowing that, God is on my side, you're not alone, and He is there to walk with you. So life can teach you those things, and I completely agree. Yeah.
Remember the Dark Night of the Soul by Michael Benazekis. The
Oh,
first time I saw that, I was like, the Dark Night of the Soul. Wow, guys, we don't want to go there. Go and read the book
yeah.
by
It
Michael
will be,
Benazekis, Life Visioning. It's a great book.
yeah.
In fact, that book, if you add it to The Art of Work, um, by Jeff Goins, it's going to help you really understand a lot of things around this subject, and you can even become a coach overnight once you're able to synchronize all the ideas.
Actually,
Thank you so much for
actually, Coach Jeff Goins says that sometimes it is not about the many things, the motivation we look in life, but it's just a spark, like just that spark that one day it just sparks and you have to run. And if you miss it, you lose it. Like it does not linger. It's just a spark for a moment, so you can utilize that to do something massive, and then forget about it and move to another thing. Yes.
Yay! We are done with Transcend Boost 2024. Drum roll. Where's my engineer? Where are you? Drum roll, guys. I'm
And we haven't,
excited. I'm
and
excited.
we need to
Go
sing
ahead.
for Jemima.
Okay. We're gonna sing again. Jemima, are you still here? Are you still here? Guys, today is Jemima's birthday. A wonderful and amazing personality. Like
She
one
is
of the
amazing.
PIPs in the leaders. So guys, let's sing a happy birthday song for Jemima. I don't know how you guys are gonna do that. Maybe you have to sing it with your drum and your emojis, and let's just
Yes,
celebrate.
yes.
Jemima, happy birthday once again.
That's it.
Let's go. Happy birthday to
Day to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy,
birthday. Let me hold my mic. Happy birthday to you. Happy
happy
birthday. Happy
birthday to,
birthday.
happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday to
you.
you. Jemima, we love you so much. You are wonderful. You are an amazing person. I believe that the lives that you have impacted is truly profound, and
Yes,
God is
yes.
going to continue to bless you. Going to continue to bless. This is just the beginning of something great to come. Thank you so much for being an amazing person. Guys, you don't know Jemima is. She's been the one doing the announcement in the Transcend with Books group. The major person doing the announcement there. That's Jemima. And she was also present, I think about 4 or 5 days ago. And she spoke about speaking, right? You can go watch her video. Mom Redempta, thank you for coming around. I'm excited that
Yes.
we are done with Transcend a book. Like, it's not been easy, guys. You see, like you said, doing some of these arrangements, making sure that the speakers are available, making sure that we're able to do the work, It's not been easy, but I'm so grateful to God for His grace. In fact, I did not believe that we'll be able to do this because reaching out to some of the speakers, I said, what if they don't show up? What will I do? You know, last year, the very first edition of Transcend that was held last year January, I taught alone all through it was 21 days. I taught alone, and I said, no, this year I'm going to have amazing speakers from different places come talk about books. And we have just started the journey. I hope that we are going to continue in this life come 2025. But I just want to appreciate everyone that has been of support. Ma'am Dora, Ma'am Innocentia, Ma'am Gioli, Redempta, everyone in the room. Cleavers, all my team members, guys, Dr. Gladys, you guys have been amazing. Elizabeth has been everywhere. Elizabeth, thank you so much for as a volunteer. You came in and you have done amazingly well. Thank you so much. I can remember the day I reached out to my Redempta and I was like, my Redempta, get ready, oh, just in case the speaker is not available. Just in case I don't see my speaker, you will just
And
show
I was
up.
ready. I was
Yeah,
ready.
my goodness. I said,
I
just in
even
case my
shared
speaker is
I
not
even
available.
shared my worksheet immediately. I was just like, okay,
Yes,
fine.
and you sent the worksheet. Guys, okay, there's a worksheet today. I think the match should be able to send that worksheet in. There's a worksheet.
Yes.
Make sure you go to the worksheet. The worksheet is loaded. It will help you implement some of the key things that we have spoken about in the program of today. So we have
Yeah.
loads of amazing programs coming up in the system by God's grace. We have reading challenge. We have coming up in February. We have loads of other programs. Ensure you stay connected to the Unidas Book Club system. And if you have not joined us in the book club, make sure you join us. Impact is like if you're talking about mentorship, you think it's a joke. It's not a joke. Even to the one we're studying the Bible and a portion of the Bible that spoke about the fact that newcomers should listen to their fathers. And while we're going through that in the book of First John, I was like, my God, newcomers they need to connect to the fathers so that they can learn and see how they can also run with the vision that they carry. So the essence of mentorship is for what the James already spoke about, apprenticeship, to learn so that you can facilitate your journey. I'm a reading coach. I talk about reading all the time, but the truth is I would not be here without a mentor. I can remember many times I would want to give up. I don't want to do this thing again. In fact, I'm not doing it again. Let me go and do something else in my life. But the calling is there and it keeps coming back that this is what I needed to do. This is what I needed to do. And I have stayed put. If not for mentorship, I remember back in 2019, I told myself, I'm not going to do this thing again. I don't know if you will understand this in my presenter. I am
Yes, I
tired.
do.
I'm not doing it again. In fact,
I
for
do.
almost 3 months, I did not show up in the leaders. I did not show up. People were sending me DMs. Fred Michael, what's going on? Why are you not showing up? I did not say anything. Some of that will just ignore their messages. Not doing again. These people are not reading. I will talk
I
about
know.
reading. They will not read. I say I'm not doing again. And my mentor kept on encouraging me, you can do this. They will show up, keep showing up, keep doing the
Yeah.
work. And it has not
Mm,
been easy. So, in
mm,
fact, for the fact that I was reading, I was doing all of that, it helped. But the truth was, I also needed a mentor in my life so that I could close
mm,
the gaps that I needed to close so I can really, step into my ordination fully. So the essence of
mm.
connecting to a mentor, the essence of connecting to a community where you have other amazing people running this race. For example, Shirima has been with me for almost 3 years now. Mom Redempta we met last year, right? So it's almost a
Yes.
year, right? Since we started off on this journey. Mom Innocentia has been with me since 2021 as well, almost 3 years. We've been together, we'll be doing this. Dr. Gladys has been with me for like 2 years plus, also going to 3 years. And a lot of amazing people that we've been doing this together. Kelly has been here for a year plus. Cleveland has been here for, I think Cleveland has been with me since 2021 January or so. So it has been a journey and it's not like a one-off thing. Like I just come, test the waters, and then I run back. No, it's not like that. Personal transformation is a journey. It requires a lot of exploration. The more you look, the less you see, like they will say. The more you look, the less you see. And once you are able to understand yourself better, you are able to have that clarity of purpose, and you start running with it. You are
Yes.
the sky is just going to be your starting point. the sky is just going to be your starting point. So joining a community of exponential achievers where people are also doing amazing things like yourself is beautiful. It's nothing compared to doing it alone, going solo. Like I just want to be on this journey. Where this is the new year, 2024. Trust me. Somebody like Mam Girl started off with us last year January, and now she's an author. She has written a book. She's also mentoring other people. All right. So I can keep naming, I can keep calling names, but the list is inexhaustible. Like what personal transformation can bring. I have started off with my own personal experience as well. How I started off on this journey, and I've always wanted to give up that I cannot do this, but I had a mentor who was always calling me out. I think somebody asked a question yesterday, Ma'am Regenta, about who to show up more, whether the mentee or the mentor. And then my husband answered it in two dimensions, like in committing and for the what do we call in terms of expression in the marketplace. And then he answered it in two dimensions. Now you can have a mentor who is really at the back end, calling you forth, calling out that greatness in you, telling you yes, it's possible for you to do it. And that's what it is about. Whether your mentor is in the open or in the secret, the ability for them to be able to call you out of your normalized nonsense is really a beautiful experience. It's a beautiful experience. So guys, I'm calling you, I'm inviting you to join us in the system. Alright, the link will be shared again with the group after now so that you can join us, take your transformation to the next level, be intentional, set your goals, and just be ready for work. Yes, doing the work is important. So we are done, guys. Mom Redempta, Transcend the book has been amazing. What do you have to say?
I want to say
Oh,
thank
thank
you
you.
so much, Coach. Thank you so much for organizing. This is a great initiative. I mean, like people will never understand what it took, but I want to say thank you for your courage. Thank you for stepping up and mentoring this generation and mentoring us. We really appreciate you. I think I'm speaking on behalf of everyone on the call and the people who joined and enjoyed this session. We appreciate you. We look up to you, and we admire you. We hope that one day you will have such courage to actually organize such a thing. And we also want to say that, organizing speakers, 14 speakers, actually, they were not 14. I think we were 17 or something because there are on two occasions that we had two speakers in a day, just organizing speakers from different countries. And I hear one is from Cameroon, from UK, from US. I mean, that is vast. Your networks have grown, and we hope that you keep growing because you are a voice in our generation. And we want to ask that may the grace of God be sufficient for you, even this year, that you will go to dimensions that we have not yet experienced. And we will just be looking at it in amazement, and not just be amazed, but we will be blessed as well. So may God bless you, may God strengthen your arm, and may God help you to, may He give you more ideas that you will reach out in this generation, because what you're doing is really profound. We appreciate you. And yes, Transcend has been amazing. I have learned a lot, and I have been affirmed as well. Like there are those things but you just need someone to affirm you. Just like Jeff Goins says that, you know what, it feels right, but you just need someone to tell you, by the way, it is right. You need a mentor to just affirm you and tell you that, oh, you are on the right track. And I want to say you are on the right track. We thank you and we appreciate you. So we will keep doing this. We are grateful. You are amazing, and we bless you. Yes.
Thank you, Ma'am Redempta, for coming around. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to see you guys on the other side. Yes, in the system as we take our transformation to the next level. I love you all. There's a link in the description just in case you want to reach out to me directly. You can send a DM, all right, on WhatsApp. The link will take you to WhatsApp. You can send a message and we take the conversation to the next level. Don't forget to also follow Redempta KANJA after one kind club. We already posted that before now. Okay, so that you can keep learning and keep growing as well. All right, thank you so much for your time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.